We are back with another trademark lawsuit breakdown. I'm your host, Dave, almost 10-year intellectual property attorney dealing with everything from patents to copyrights to trade secrets. Yep, you guessed it, trademarks. Now, this is an interesting one, and it seems like Chanel, as I kind of, I typically throughout the week, I sift through these different lawsuits and see which ones I want to pick to talk about based on the notoriety of the brand and the story that's interesting. I read through multiple complaints, and it seems like Chanel, man, they're pretty active, especially out of these luxury brands that's suing people who are, essentially trying to sell knockoffs and things like that. So this one again will be a little bit more interesting. I'm not going to keep you guys quick today. Unfortunately, I'm not able to go live because I had a prior commitment. So you guys will be seeing this recorded. But again, still leave your comments in the comment section throughout the video, and would love to hear from you guys. And yeah, it should be a pretty good one, pretty entertaining, a pretty interesting one. And yeah, so as we talked about earlier, who are we talking about? The Chanel, the luxury clothing brand. I guess they do more than clothing, shoes, things like that. But the luxury brand, I should say, Chanel, got the double C's, the Chanel trademark. They have a various number of trademarks on their products. And I tell you what, man, especially compared to the Gucci's, the Louis Vuittons, the Pradas, the other luxury brands, man, Chanel, they fend for themselves vigorously as far as filing these complaints to try to get these knockoffs taken down. So yeah, we'll be reading or learning a little bit more about them to the extent that you don't know about them. But who are they going against? Who are they going against? Well, and I'll let me put up their social media right here. Hey, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I work really hard to try to bring you guys this valuable content. So please hit the like button as well as the subscribe button. But this who Chanel is suing. This is the IG page of 30 Shop, which they have another name for the business name. But I'm sorry. It's not 30 Shop. It's 30ish.shop is the website name. But again, over 40,000 followers. So this is not a small company by any stretch of the imagination. Seems like it's a Texas company, handmade in Texas. Hey, we'll see what that means kind of going forward. But nonetheless, it seems like it's a clothing company that, hey, I wouldn't be surprised if they have more lawsuits coming down the pipeline from other various luxury brands, because Chanel isn't the only luxury brand it seems like they sell clothing from. You have the YSL, you have the Louis Vuitton, Prada, you see Gucci here, a number of Gucci items here. Seems like, Saint Laurent. So again, man, it's a number of products that they sell from a luxury brand standpoint. And Chanel seems like the first one that, at least based on my research, has hit them with a trademark lawsuit. Now, for those of you who don't know, what is a trademark? Because again, I want this to be entertaining, and I want us to learn something. I want us to be able to avoid situations like what 30 years had themselves in. So essentially, a trademark identifies the source of the goods and services. So when you go, again, I always give this analogy because I think it's a pretty simple one. If you're driving down the street and you're hungry, and again, you love McDonald's, and you see the golden arches and you see that name McDonald's, in your head, you have associated that quality across the board with McDonald's, whether it's the fries, whether it's the chicken nuggets, whether it's the McFlurries, to the extent that the ice cream machine is not broken. You have associated yourself from your numerous or previous business to McDonald's, the quality of their products or the lack thereof. And therefore, you see that McDonald's, you see the golden arches, you're going to pull in. But what if you pull into the golden arches, to that restaurant that's named McDonald's, and the food is totally different from what the McDonald's that you have came to love? Then that's ultimately hurts you as a consumer, as well as it hurts the franchise or the trademark owner, in that case McDonald's. So really, trademark, again, is so that when you identify, you can identify the source of the goods based on the brand and based on the trademark. So it's really to protect the consumers. But again, it's a very powerful, very valuable asset, intellectual property. And whether it's Nike, whether it's McDonald's, these trademarks are worth millions upon millions, if not sometimes billions of dollars. So this trademark stuff is extremely important. But on the flip side of it, hey, you have to make sure you understand how to avoid situations where you are, essentially committing trademark infringement. Because one of the things about trademarks is you have to be willing to protect your trademark. So whether or not, if you see somebody or you get wind of somebody infringing your trademark, you have to be able to at least send them a cease and desist letter. And really, to the extent that they kind of they're blowing off the cease and desist letter, you have to be prepared to sue them, or else your trademark can be affected as a result of that. So unlike some of the other forms of intellectual property, trademarks, you have to be willing to go after alleged infringers, or else it can affect your trademark. So that's a big reason why Chanel, as well as other brands, they go after people, because they have to kind of protect the value of their trademark. So we're going to take a look at the website. We're going to take a look at the complaint, but another thing that I do want to show really quickly is the website, because we talked about 40,000 followers that they have on IG, 30 years. This is a decent size operation. You see the website here. We'll go through it a little bit as we kind of get through this thing. And you see, again, the Gucci products. If we go to shop, you see the number of different products that they have going. I'm not familiar with this Amalfi, as well as Americana. That seems like that's maybe a newer brand. But they still have the YSLs. They still have the Gucci's, the Pradas. So, similar to the actual Instagram page, they're selling this stuff on their website as well. Louis Vuitton, Gucci. Hey, look, when I saw the BBC, man, it made me think that this is a black person, but I'm not sure, man, because this stuff is it's definitely not saying that just because you're black you can't have a pretty sophisticated operation, but it definitely seems like a sophisticated operation. You see the Dior here. So again, if you click this is how you get to the website. The IG page. So if you guys don't recall, I did one of these about a month or so ago on, I forget her name, but it was a lady who was doing Facebook auction, and Chanel hit them with a lawsuit. We went over that lawsuit, broke it down, had some fun with it, had some laughs. But Chanel hit the lady with the lawsuit. She was on Facebook. Seemed like she was out of her warehouse, and she was essentially auctioning off clothes, not just Chanel clothes, but Gucci, but Prada, but Louis Vuitton, these different luxury brands. She's auctioning off those clothes. And that was a kind of really bare bones operation, because what Chanel did was they slapped her, the lady personally, with a lawsuit. She wasn't even sophisticated enough to have a LLC set up so that she wasn't personally liable for trademark infringement in this case. Instead, Chanel hit her with a personal lawsuit. So now that judgment against her will be, essentially, she'll be personally liable. Whereas, as you can see here, let me pull up the lawsuit so we can kind of really get off into it. Let's see here. At least 30-ish. And I'm not sure. I couldn't even find I did find an owner, or at least a name that was attached to it. But I couldn't, I was trying to search out her operation, a house pulled up in Texas, which I'm not going to pull up just because I don't want to out anybody's house. But as you can see here, it's Be Blessed Provisions Group. So at least this lady, whoever this lady is, that's being sued by Chanel for trademark infringement, at least she was sophisticated enough to have, an actual LLC set up, so that once the judgment attaches, or if she's found liable for trademark infringement, it's her actual company that's liable, and she personally is not liable for trademark infringement. So it's some sophistication that is involved here with this company and this lawsuit. But another thing I did want to say too, and I want to spend a little bit of time on this, man, because back in the day, man, if you were religiously affiliated, that meant something. You told people, whether you were a Christian, you were Catholic, heck, if you were a Buddhist, Hindu, whatever, Islamic, of the Islamic cloth, that meant something. That meant you were a person of more or less upstanding character. You believed in something. You were willing to die for something. You had different morals and values, and you were ethical. Again, we know that we can't put everybody in there, but typically when you heard of that term, I'm a Christian, I'm a Catholic, 10, 20, 30 years ago, that meant something. But today, man, when somebody says that they're religiously affiliated, that means nothing, at least to me. I want to see how this person operates. What type of, what do others say about this person? And what's the reason that you're saying that, Dave? Well, this is the reason I'm saying it is because this lady who is selling knockoffs has named her company Be Blessed Provisions Group. Be Blessed Provisions Group. You can't make this stuff up. Hopefully, let me see if I can blow up my screen here one more time. There you go. This lady who was being sued by Chanel, so you see the plaintiff Chanel versus the defendant Be Blessed Provisions Group. So she has created a company that she's named Be Blessed, and she's selling knockoff clothing. You can't make this stuff up. So at least, hey man, keep God out of it. So what you're going to tell people that, hey, God told you to do this, or you are following God or listening to God, and God told you to sell knockoffs and commit essentially a civil crime, well, not a crime, but essentially a lawsuit, or be alleged or be on the hook for potentially infringement for, again, you're selling knockoffs. You don't have permission to sell these items from the luxury brands. And therefore, it's only a matter of time before somebody slaps you with a lawsuit. But the fact that you named your company Be Blessed Provisions Group as if you're a blessed person, as if you're an honest, a person of high character, high morals, ethical person, man, that's crazy. And it just goes to show you that, again, man, just because I would imagine that this person to say she's Catholic or she's Christian or she's at least a religious believer based on a name. But again, that name means nothing these days. She literally has a company called Be Blessed Provisions Group that she's selling knockoff clothing and committing, essentially breaking the law. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you think it's she has a reasonable excuse for it, or do you think it's no reasonable excuse for essentially kind of roping in kind of Be Blessed religion, along with her shenanigans in terms of breaking the law? But I think I'm not a legal a religious scholar, but it's do not break the law, one of the 10 commandments. I know do not steal, or do not kill is. But this lady is literally, I shouldn't say a lady. I'm assuming it's a lady, but it can't be a man. But this person is literally has a company that it seems like owns 30-ish. And the company is named Be Blessed Provisions, which is crazy. So let's read the lawsuit. Let's get off into the lawsuit. Plaintiff Chanel. You all know Plaintiff Chanel, incorporated in New York, hereby sues defendant Be Blessed Provisions Group. Defendant is promoting, selling, offering for sale, and distributing goods using counterfeits and confusing similar imitations of Chanel's trademarks within a district via the website operated under the domain name 30ish. So it seems like that's the domain name that is owned by Be Blessed Provisions Group. That's crazy that name of the company is Be Blessed. But let's get down to the party. So we're going to kind of quickly go over Chanel because we know them. They're from New York. They have the trademarks, the double C's, the word Chanel. It's the owner of all registered and common law rights. They've been around for a long time. They, what we would say, is essentially a famous mark. Let's see here. It seems like defendants of the LLC organized under the existing laws of the state of Texas and get principal place in business in Texas. And then upon information of belief, defendant conducts substantial business activities throughout the United States. So it seems like, they're selling this stuff throughout the U.S. And that's the other thing too, bringing it back on myself for a little bit. When you say Be Blessed Provisions Group, it's almost unfortunate because you're pulling on people religious strings. Because a lot of people, man, there's so much of the cloth that they see that and they're like, okay, we're going to support another Christian. We're going to support another fellow believer. And all this time, this believer is committing breaking the law. So that's the unfortunate part. Is number one, you're roping in kind of religion into it and God into it with the name Be Blessed. But then also you're pulling on the strings of fellow Christians, fellow religious believers who are kind of trying to support other believers and churchgoers, and they're thinking they're doing the right thing, not knowing that all this time this person is committing infringement or breaking the law, which is it's crazy. It's unfortunate as well. So let's so it says, the defendant, the fully interactive website operated under the domain name 30ish shop, and upon information and belief, I need to highlight my pointer so you guys can follow it, uses the alias 30ish shop, 30ish.shop in or 30ish in the operation of the business or subject domain name. Paragraph 6, defendant is directly engaged in unfair competition with Chanel through the advertisement, offering for sale of goods bearing counterfeit and infringements of Chanel trademarks to consumers within the U.S. Defendant has purposely directed some portion of its illegal activities towards consumers in Texas through its advertising and all those other various activities. Defendant has registered and maintained the subject domain name. So it seems like at least it registered the domain name. And that's the other unfortunate part, man. These people are sophisticated. You got websites. You got social media platforms. You are protecting the domain name. If you put all this stuff towards something that's actually fruitful and, something that's your own, you can be just as successful as opposed to trying to piggyback. Or it's one thing to piggyback off somebody. It's another thing to essentially commit trademark infringement and break the law by using somebody else's name. And I get it. People do it. Tough times out here. Just coming off of COVID. We're in the middle of a recession potentially is what a lot of people say. But you're going to get caught. You're not going to get away with this. These companies, like I said, Chanel they was the first person to bring the hammer down. But whether it's Louis Vuitton, whether it's Gucci, whether it's Prada, Fendi, these other luxury brands or heck brands in general, the Nikes, the McDonald's, they're going to hit you with a lawsuit at some point, which is going to set you back because now you have to start all over. Not to mention you have this judgment against you. So you really think you're getting ahead, but you're not going to get away with this stuff. So again, let that be a lesson to everybody who's thinking about doing something similar. Let's go paragraph 9 here. Defendant's business name 30ish.shop and any other domain names and or aliases used in connection with the sale of counterfeit and infringed goods bearing or under Chanel trademark are essential components of defendant's illegal activities and are one of the means by which defendant furthers its counterfeiting and infringement scheme. I wonder if those newer names, Americana, whatever the case may be, are actual names that were of 30ish or Be Blessed Provisions Group. And again, I'm not sure with this clothing stuff if that's somebody else's name. You guys have to let me know in the comment section whether or not those let's see, what is it? What was the names? Whether or not Amalfi, Amalfi, Amalfi or Americana, is that a luxury brand or do we think that's a brand that's owned by Be Blessed Provisions Group? I'm not sure. But anyway, let's kind of get back to this lawsuit here. If I can find it. There we go. So substance of action. This action arises, paragraph 10, out of defendant's offer to sale, distribution, advertisement, yada, yada, yada. These different products bearing a counterfeit of the iconic. I think we will all agree that the Chanel mark is iconic, as detailed in paragraph 20 below. The defendant's use of Chanel mark is not authorized by Chanel, and defendant's non-genuine goods are materially different from Chanel's. So she's essentially saying they're knockoff, they're of lesser quality, of inferior quality. So yeah, they're materially different from Chanel's genuine high-quality products, including belts, handbags, hats, sweaters, t-shirts, so forth and so on. And then that's the other thing. So when people see these things, even though you look at, let's go back to the website here really quickly. Again, whether it's somebody trying to support another kind of believer, I guess, in this case, but also, as you see, come on, man, you know that you're not going to get a Gucci shirt for what, $37. You're not going to get a Prada t-shirt for $37. You're not going to get a Louis Vuitton hat. I guess 64. I would imagine that maybe it's a couple $100. But again, you know that these things are a lot more. Some Louis Vuitton slides for $60. So you know that they're counterfeit, but people, I would imagine that some people at least think that they're getting a real deal. So when they get these knockoffs, they can, kind of be upset. So this is really to protect the public, the consumers. Let's get back to the lawsuit here. So paragraph 11, defendant who has never been authorized, an unauthorized distributor of Chanel's high-quality products, is offering for sale and selling these counterfeit bags, handbags, hats, sweatshirts, so forth and so on. Defendant is displaying and selling this non-genuine Chanel branded products under the guise that those goods are authentic. As the defendant's goods are non-genuine products, I just talked about this. Defendant is likely to confuse consumers in both the sale and post-sale setting who will believe that they are purchasing, have purchased, or are viewing a genuine product approved by us, the Chanel. Because defendant is using Chanel's mark to sell goods that are not identical to Chanel's authorized merchandise and that in fact are materially different from genuine Chanel products, defendant is violating Chanel's rights. I agree with that as an IP attorney. Accordingly, Chanel asserts essentially these different causes of action: counterfeiting, trademark infringement, false designation, common law trademark infringement, so forth and so on. And this is what they're looking for: statutory damages up to $2 million, as well as treble damages, which we know are additional damages, 3 times the damages, as well as anything else that the court deemed just and proper. So we're going to go to factual allegations common to all claims for relief. But let me, guys, let me bring you something. Let me show you something really quickly. And you know that you probably got caught when, again, as they talked about, Chanel already done said that they're selling products on their website, Chanel products. But as you go through, I'm at this shop tab, and I'm just, saying shop out all. But as you go through, you see the Louis Vuitton. I'm not sure what this is. You see the just the different products that are being sold. Gucci. There's so many brands out there. Dior, Cowgirl Summer. You see the product. And as you keep going, and I just kind of clicked on 5 here. What's missing? What do you not see? See, I at least had a 30th t-shirt. They're selling a 30th t-shirt with the Louis Vuitton. But what do you not see? You see the Gucci's. You see the Dior's, Hermes, YSL. Got a y'all t-shirt. What do you not see? And again, I'm not going to try to scroll through everything, but what do you not see? Mind you, Chanel is bringing a lawsuit. You're seeing a Gucci, Small Town Famous, YSL. What do you not see? Louis Vuitton you see up there. I'm going to do one more page. What do you not see? Again, mind you, look it. She got a Jesus is King t-shirt. Selling knockoffs. You think God would be happy with this lady? Gucci. Leopard is the new black. I would imagine that this maybe is a black lady, but I'm not sure. At least this one is a sophisticated Hermes Gucci. What do you not see? Dior. What do you not see? You do not see Chanel, which is kind of a little suspect. You get hit with a lawsuit from Chanel, and next thing you know, what you put all your Chanel products down, it doesn't make you look good. However, you're still selling the products and the other luxury brands, which we all know. Again, you see this? What do you see? A Prada shirt for $37. Hood or hoodie for $37. Prada's probably selling this stuff for a lot more than $37. So it's interesting, and it doesn't bode well for 30 years or Be Blessed provisions in the fact that they actually have taken down all their products or the Chanel products, presumably because they got hit with a lawsuit. Let me show you guys something else. And just going to their IG page for quickly, you have to kind of scroll down pretty far. You see all this stuff. You don't see any Chanel. You don't see any Chanel. You see the products. You see the Gucci, the Louis Vuitton. Gucci, Louis Vuitton. I'm not sure what Celine is. Somebody in a comment below. What is Celine? Is that a luxury brand or is that an up-and-coming brand? But you don't see. You see the Dior's. A lot of Louis Vuitton. A lot of Gucci. YSL. You have to go all the way down. Is that Burberry right here? I think that's Burberry. You have to go all the way down. You got to go down pretty far. I would imagine that they just actually forgot all the Chanel items. Because again, you can tell that, look, Chanel is suing them, saying that they're using Chanel. You don't see. Oh, here we go. I'm not sure if that's the person or not, but. Oh, there you go. You have to come all the way down to get to the, and this ain't even just kind of a clear Chanel thing. This is actually a video, but you see here the Chanel item. Let me see if I can find another. Again, you have to go down all the way down. So you can tell they scrubbed the social media to get rid of all the Chanel stuff. Let me see if I can. Okay, here you go. Another Chanel purse with the double C's with the Hermes. What do you see? People, hey, how do I order the shirt? So this is Hermes. They still got the Chanel bag, the fanny pack. Hey, give me the link. Give me the link. All these people, give me the link. Give me the. So this was from, 52 weeks in a year? This was from over a year ago. Link for this Chanel bag. They already out her. Link for this Chanel bag. This is fire. Kim makeup. No, this is illegal. These are counterfeits. So again, they dang near scrubbed everything off. I would imagine that they went through. Maybe Chanel is typically, if you got 2 items on your whole IG and no items on your website of Chanel, this is not legal advice by any means, but Chanel probably is not going to be concerned with you, especially with all this Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Dior that you have on here. But I would imagine after that lawsuit, they scrubbed the website, they scrubbed the IG page from a lot of this Chanel stuff. They seem like they forgot a couple items, but that doesn't look good that Chanel has sued you, and now all of a sudden we can't find anything. We know that you were selling some stuff, Chanel. But let's get back to the lawsuit nonetheless. Here we go. Actual allegations common to all claims for relief. Let me hit some of my Topo Chico. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this and getting something out of it. I want to help you guys avoid committing trademark infringement. Chanel is a premier manufacturer and seller of a wide variety of luxury goods, and is a recognized leader in the industry of luxury, high-quality products, including belts, handbags. I'm not going to go over all that. We get it. I want to get off into what they're talking about. So this is essentially again, you see these commonly in these complaints where they put all the Chanel trademarks, or a lot of the Chanel trademarks. You see a lot of class 25, which is clothing and apparel, coats, shoes, scarves, raincoats, handbags. You see all the different items listed here. This is class 25. 18 is leather goods. Class 6 is keychains. 14 is custom jewelry. And obviously 25 is clothing. Class 26 is brooches and buttons for clothing. Again, so you see all the trademarks that they own. Let's get back to because we already kind of know what they're saying here in terms of how much Chanel is protecting their stuff, how famous it is, how they spent a ton of money on advertising, and that's why it's a famous mark, it's an iconic mark which gets heightened protection from the courts, how it's kind of been around forever. There we go. Let's see here. Okay, let's see here, man. Let's get to defendants. I'm trying to find out where they talk about because typically you will see, hey, defendant, we try to send cease and desist letter. They blew those off. I guess Chanel likes talking about Chanel a lot more because typically you'll put the defendant's action. Okay, let's start at 27. The defendant is in an action had full knowledge of Chanel's ownership of the marks. I agree with that. Chanel had discovered the defendant is promoting and otherwise advertising the different goods and services, which are exact copies of the Chanel mark. Defendant is using the Chanel marks in the same style. Okay, exactly the same, which is all obviously not good. Paragraph 29, the defendant's goods are of a quality substantially different, inferior, less than that of Chanel's genuine goods. Despite the nature of its goods and the knowledge that it is without authority to do so, the defendant is actively using, promoting, or otherwise advertising, distributing, selling with the knowledge that such goods will be mistaken for. Okay, I get that. The defendant advertising this product for sale to the consuming public. Yep. It looks like it's doing that. Defendant is conducting its counterfeiting infringement. Man, come on, man. I need to see some more juicy stuff. The defendant's use of the Chanel marks, including the promotion and advertising of the reproduction, distribution, sale, and offering for sale. That's not nothing new. Let's go to paragraph 33 here. The defendant is engaging in the above described counterfeiting and infringing activities knowing, they should have said knowingly and intentionally, or with reckless disregard or willful blindness to Chanel's rights. Yeah, man, this ain't. I don't really like this complaint. It's kind of really saying the same thing over and over and over again. Tell me how you actually sent the cease and desist to them. How they blew it off. Give me exact, specific examples of how they're infringing your mark, how they're selling this product. Don't just keep saying defending this, promoting it, otherwise. How many times have you read this sentence? I don't necessarily like this complaint. How many times have you read this similar sentence? Defendant is promoting and otherwise advertising, selling, offering for sale, and distributing at least this. And it's continuously in front. I mean, we read that 1,000 times already. So I don't necessarily kind of like the lawsuit per se, especially given the fact that it's 19 pages. I think is extremely redundant, but I guess it is what it is. But the big thing here is, again, hopefully you guys got something out of this. Number one, Don't use God's name in vain. Number two, don't try to play off the hearts and the heartstrings of churchgoers. Because I would imagine God is not going to be happy about that. And I would imagine that the court is not going to be happy about that. Number three, if you're using or selling counterfeit goods, using somebody else iconic, famous logos, trademarks, it's only a matter of time before they get you. At least she put it in her business name so that it's separate from having personal liability. But at some point, they're going to come and get you. And again, this can be the first of many. You see that she was selling the Prada, she was selling the Louis Vuitton, she was selling the Dior's, the Gucci's. So those companies can also file trademark lawsuits, trademark actions against her. And what does this do? This just puts you further in the hole. So again, as an attorney, been doing this for a long time. Just start off fresh, start off the right way. Yeah, it's going to take you a little bit of time, but once you get that, get going, you're going to be happy that you did it the right way. Protect your IP. Your IP is going to be valuable, and you don't have to worry about looking over your back, waiting for a lawsuit because you're, again, doing something that's obviously trademark infringement. Because again, what did I say earlier? You have to protect your trademark. If you're not going to do that, it's no use getting a trademark. It's probably not a use of going into business where your trademark is going to be important, because that's part of the game at this point. Unfortunately, you have to be willing to at least send a cease and desist letter, which I'm assuming Chanel sent multiple cease and desist letters that Be Blessed Provisions blew off. I would have liked to see that information in the lawsuit, but they didn't put it in there, which is man, it is what it is. I guess the trademark attorneys at this point, they was kind of ready to be done with this one. But I'm going to continue to obviously bring you guys more of these trademark actions. We're going to try to follow this. A lot of times what happens is they either settle or if it has to go to the judge is going to give you a nice spanking and you're going to be really in the hole. So again, it just do the right thing the first time. And definitely leave God's name out of it. Be blessed. Don't pull on the heartstrings. That's not cool. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys actually bought some product from her. Let me know, is it quality like the real thing, or is it of inferior quality? I can tell you based on those prices that it's probably inferior quality. Let me know if you know anything about it seems like this is big. Obviously, they're in Texas. She talked about handmade. I'm pretty sure she's not hand making these products. But again, I guess you got to sell something. But let me know in the comments if you actually purchased one of these products. If you, I guess, met the owner of 30 years for Be Blessed Provisions. And let me know. I'm interested in hearing from you guys. I will say until next time, again, be blessed. And I'll see you next week. Peace.